Hey guys, it's Daniel here with a new movie review. I know it's been quite a while, and plus it's kind of inevitable that the new movie review is a DC movie after my last movie review, which was a DC movie that came out over a month ago. So, as many of you know, Christmas managed to save a couple of COVID-19 things from the whole 2020, so Christmas was a good year. But it's over now, and it's now 2021. And even though I made a video about it, do you want to know some of the Christmas presents I got? Logan Blu-ray Steelbook, the first 3 Toy Story films, All Round Mrs. Brown Season 1, Mrs. Brown's Boys Live, For the Love of Mrs. Brown, X-Men Days of Future Past The Road Cut, The Invisible Man, and Parks and Recreation Season 3. Now you're probably wondering, why do you have it again? Well, because last year, that was a freaking troll. That was not Season 3, that was just Macbeth in the DVD. But luckily this is the real one. You want to prove it? The DVD fell out. And among those presents, do you know what else I got this year? A fun little chick flick superhero movie called Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. That's a long title, but I'm just going to call it Birds of Prey for short. Just make it more easy. So, Birds of Prey basically follows the Joker's right-hand woman / girlfriend, Harley Quinn, of course, as she breaks up with the Joker, so she takes her tantrum out on the chemical factory where the Joker first became the Joker and when Harley Quinn first became Harley Quinn, so she destroys it and moves on with her lives. But there is a little girl that ends up stealing a diamond that belongs to the most powerful businessman in the area, Black Mask. So basically, Harley reluctantly decides to help this girl get the diamond. Not only is Black Mask also sent to get Harley Quinn, but many women are after the diamond and Harley Quinn too. And eventually, all these women come together to become the Birds of Prey. Now, I have been dying to see Birds of Prey for quite a while. I never got to see it last year, so this is my review of the first time I've seen the movie. So I managed to get the Blu-ray for Christmas, and what do I think of it? I really liked the movie. It was really, really good. I mean, sure, it's not one of the best DCEU movies I've ever seen, but it was still pretty good. I mean, if the film didn't have this one part of the movie, then the movie wouldn't be as good as it possibly could have been. I would have found it forgettable, or I would find it okay. But because the movie had this one aspect, I'm going to really like the movie. And let's just talk about that right now, because in my opinion, the best aspect of this movie, without a doubt, is Margot Robbie's performance as the titular character, Harleen Quinzel, aka Harley Quinn. Brilliant. Literally brilliant. I honestly did not have any issues with her performance. She carried the entire movie. She was honestly born to play Harley Quinn. She just came off as a really cool woman when doing it. She had all the charisma and the comedy, but also very angsty and vicious side to Harley Quinn that we definitely haven't seen. Well, we have, but what we haven't seen in DCEU so far, apart from Suicide Squad. I haven't seen Suicide Squad in ages, so I don't know what she's like in that film, but I'm pretty sure she's going to kill it. But this is honestly the best performance that Margot Robbie has given as Harley Quinn. And Harley as a character is definitely the saving grace of the entire movie. Came off as sympathetic, but also funny and cheeky and very violent as well. I mean, yes, she can be a jerk, but we love this character so much that we don't even care if she's a jerk, because she's a lovable jerk. And honestly, I'm glad that this movie was all about her, because I was going into the movie just to see Harley Quinn, and honestly, she was honestly the best part of the movie to me. I'm pretty sure she's the best part. If anyone ever seen the movie, I'm pretty sure people will say that she's the best part, but she honestly carried the film for me. She's the saving grace. I ended up caring about her so much. I felt a bit sympathetic when she was sad. I was very joyful and laughing my butt off when she was happy and yet vicious. I liked seeing her bond with other characters, and I kind of felt sorry for how the world treats her. Sometimes, if you have a main character that is so good and people are expecting to love this character, then that's what makes the film better. This movie is definitely better because of Harley Quinn, and whenever Harley Quinn wasn't in the movie, I wasn't that interested, but I'm glad that she's like most of, if not all, the movie, because she's honestly the best part. However, Harley Quinn is not just the only good character in the movie, because the other good character that I liked, although she's like less better than Harley Quinn, but still okay, was the little girl that Harley Quinn had to help out to get the diamond. I thought she was pretty good as well. I mean, the actress who plays her did add a convincing part to the character. She was very cheeky and very thieving, almost like Harley Quinn, but definitely not as crazy as Harley Quinn. And I thought the two did have some nice chemistry now and again. Also, there are a few couple of action sequences in the movie that were pretty cool. I mean, honestly, the movie isn't really about the action, it's more about Harley Quinn. But the climax of the movie was definitely good. I mean, the first part of the climax, where they're fighting in that, like, funhouse place, it wasn't really that interesting. But after Harley Quinn attaches her rope to a car, that's when the climax definitely gets more interesting. Lastly, the comedy in this movie is fantastic. I did laugh a lot of the time, especially, again, Harley Quinn. She's just so hilarious. She has a lot of funny parts to say, adding so much comedy, and honestly, most of the comedy with her is definitely hilarious to watch. But like I said, this movie only has Harley Quinn to save the movie, because this movie was very enjoyable, mainly because of her. But if Harley Quinn wasn't in the movie, if they picked another Birds of Prey member to be the main character, or if they got another actress besides Margot Robbie to play the character, this movie wouldn't be as good as I thought it was. And with that said, let's talk about the issues with the movie. In my opinion, the biggest issue with the movie, hands down, and I'm pretty sure you're all going to see this coming, Ewan McGregor. Wow! Talk about hamming it up. I mean, his character is way more cartoony than I thought it would be. Hell, he's even more cartoony than Harley Quinn. How was that even possible? I, for one, for the love of God, cannot take Ewan McGregor seriously in this movie. And I know you're not supposed to take him that seriously because it is a comedy movie, but why did you pick Ewan McGregor? You could have picked anyone else. If you were going to make Ewan McGregor play the villain, then at least he could have come off as menacing, because I'm pretty sure Black Mask was supposed to come off as menacing, but he doesn't come off as menacing, he just comes off as cartoony. And if you're going to make him a cartoony villain, why not get someone else to play him besides Ewan McGregor? Like, you could have picked Kevin Spacey, you could have picked Corey Stoll, hell, you could have even picked Jack Black. Just why him? I mean, this is definitely a career low. I mean, you always thought that Ewan McGregor used to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, and now he's just Black Mask. Why? And again, he's just too over the top. Like, what is it with over the top villains in the DCEU? First it's Jesse Eisenberg, then it's Ewan McGregor, and then it's Pedro Pascal. What? The next problem I had with this movie is that the other members of the Birds of Prey weren't utilised that well, and they just keep popping up out of nowhere with no real purpose to be in the movie. I mean, some of them were good. I mean, like I said, Harley Quinn, perfect. And that little girl, really good. But everyone else, well, some were decent and some were pretty good, but the rest of them just don't have that much development. I mean, the girl that used to look with Black Mask but then betrayed him, she was pretty good, but she's just not that interesting. Like, we got the police officer that's trying to hunt down Harley Quinn because she keeps screwing her up in the past. I did find her kind of obnoxious, but the most disappointing one out of the 5 Birds of Prey members is the Huntress, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Now, Mary Elizabeth Winstead did do a pretty good job as the character. She came off as kind of fierce and awesome. However, she's also the most useless and underdeveloped character in the entire movie. Like, she has nothing to do. She just pops out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, she's gone. And then when she shows up at the end of the movie to join the Birds of Prey in their battle, it just feels forced and out of nowhere. Like, shoehorned into the part because, well, we want to have the Huntress and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, so let's just keep her in the movie. And plus, the film just keeps cutting between her and many other characters, and honestly, it just came off as editing. And plus, the pacing of this movie is very messed up and clunky. Like, it keeps popping from one scene, and then one scene, like, this one scene is just for 2 minutes, and the rest of the scene is just like 5 minutes long, and it's just like, oh, how long are you going to keep the scenes on? And plus, the movie cuts from something in the present into something in the past, and then that past goes on for 5 minutes, and then it cuts back to the present. And honestly, this movie kind of felt like a chick flick version of Deadpool. Yeah, like Harley Quinn is definitely the Deadpool of the DCEU, or at least in my opinion, he's the Deadpool of the DCEU. Film doesn't really have that much eventful, and the characters don't really meet up until an hour and 15 minutes into the an hour and 50-minute movie. I mean, I get that the first two acts were supposed to build up character development so that when they join together, it's very rewarding, but the problem is, they don't spend the first two acts on the characters, they just mainly focus on Harley Quinn. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because Harley Quinn is the best part of the movie, but I would have loved to see them utilize more of the supporting cast, like Huntress, that police officer, that girl that used to work with Black Mask. You could have developed them more so that when they get to the third act, it's very rewarding. But until then, it doesn't feel like much is going on. It's kind of uneventful. But again, those are problems that are fixed by Harley Quinn. And let's just get to the final verdict of the movie, and let's just stop talking about Harley Quinn. Although, I'll probably discuss Harley Quinn when I talk about the main verdict. Overall, I really enjoyed Birds of Prey. I mean, yes, it has a very unnecessary, over-the-top villain. Some parts are pretty uneventful, and the gang's chemistry isn't really that well developed. But Harley Quinn, played by Margot Robbie, definitely made up for it, because she is the heart and soul of the movie. She's the reason I went to go see the movie, so if you go into this movie expecting to see Harley Quinn, just to see Harley Quinn, you will definitely get that, and she is awesome in the movie. I cannot wait to see more of her character in future DC movies, and I will give the film a 4 out of 5. Now, I could have given it a low grade, but because Harley Quinn is so good in the movie, it had to live up to a 4 out of 5. So it's definitely worth the watch, and if you're a big fan of the DC Extended Universe, but you really love Harley Quinn most of all, go see the film. What do you think of Birds of Prey? Do you love it? Do you hate it? And what female superheroine got their own movie did you like? And what kind would you like to be made? Would you like to be a Catwoman movie? Would you like there to be a Poison Ivy movie? In fact, I kind of heard that there might be a sequel to Birds of Prey that focuses on Harley Quinn's relationship with Poison Ivy, so I hope that comes out. And I will be discussing my thoughts on the 4th episode of WandaVision. I just decided to put this video up because I wanted to do a video throughout the week, so I definitely will try to get more videos done. But anyway, I'm Daniel, reviewing movies, TV shows, doing videos. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications, comment this video, like this video, and I'm the female clown known as the Filming Daniel. Till then, peace out, man. Wah! Wah!